Here, same here.
Yeah. It's the only way to stay sane, to be insane.
Peter, this is such a great way to start an interview. You're right. My friend, welcome to our Quebec radio show. Welcome to CKRL 89.1. For people at home who matter, who the hell are you?
Yeah, who the fuck am I? I don't know. I'm a famous hockey player from Sweden. No, I'm kidding. Uh, so, how is life in Quebec?
It's weird. It's kind of it's a weird situation. Right now, it's pretty stable. If we talk about the pandemic,
Hmm.
um, there's a lot of cancellations of show ban outside Canada
Yeah,
because of the border. But it seems that yesterday we got the news that we're gonna have full arena. So because we were like half of arena for people that want to attempt to show our Siaki game. So it's full, but people will have to wear a mask. So it's kind of weird. People are kind of divided because there's a passport. If you want to go to restaurant, to gym, or anything inside, you have to show your code. And there's a lot. There's still a few people not that doesn't have the vaccine, and so there's a lot of division. It's a weird time.
oh, it sounds like Germany 1939. Oh
Yeah,
God,
should
what kind of
send that
fucking
to our
world are
prime
we in?
minister. It's right. You're right.
I mean, yeah, we got a fucking situation that's totally screwed up in a nice way of putting it. And yeah, I guess every country tries to do their best to try to keep this virus under control, but it's, yeah, as you see, it's not easy. Some people don't like idea. Some people are doing it, and it's a society nowadays that's really scary. You live in a society that runs by algorithms, you know,
It's
by
true.
AI. So good luck with this world, man. I'm glad I live in the woods. I don't have to see all this shit.
Yeah, and it seems that Sweden, you really handle it well. I mean, you people are really disciplined, and the
No,
government
no,
did.
no, no, no. What are you reading? Disney? Fuck no. Sweden is the dumbest fucking country in the world when it comes to government and restrictions and shit like that. They're the dumbest fucking people on the planet of Earth. Trust me. We have the one of the highest death rates per capita. If you look at this shit, Sweden has no fucking clue what they're doing. They're just like feeling a little bit here, a little bit there. Oh, maybe it's cool to do this. They the employees of like elderly homes and shit like that. Nobody told them to wear masks, to be precautions about the virus. So 90%, 95% of all these people who died was elderly people, because the people who was taking care of them didn't get the instructions to be careful, to clean them the hands, to wear masks, to blah 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 blah, all this shit. And but still, the government don't think they did anything wrong. So fuck them all.
It seems that it's the same here. The problem here is not really the virus. Of course, for elder people, as you say, it's more. But with the vaccine, it's kind of working. They don't go to emergency. But the problem is the health system. It's falling apart. We put
Oh yeah.
millions and millions of dollars, and the money don't go to the right place. So
Nope.
if you got like 800 people in the whole Quebec who got hospitalized and have to go to your emergency, it's full, it's jam packed, it's done. They have to cancel treatment for cancer. They have
Yep.
to surgery and everything. And place where we put the older people, it was the fire and the fuel of that pandemic because we didn't treat them well. They
No.
died dehydrated and everything. So it's a problem. I think it's kind of everywhere. We treat the older like shit, and they work for the system and everything, and we put them in the worst place ever.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I mean, uh, I don't know. I guess I'm too much of science fiction guy, but I tell you, I wrote about this even on End of Disclosure album that came out 8 years ago. It's called Depopulating the Earth.
Yes, and I remember the whole concept around the records. It's weird and surreal when you look at it, because in 2013, when you release it, you were not thinking that we could be in the situation that we are right now.
Well, I thought so. That's why I wrote it. So,
You're a visionary. We should ask you what's the next step. What's gonna be the
yeah,
next step?
you don't want to hear my next step because then you're gonna get depressed. So, I'll I will keep it to myself, unfortunately.
But Peter, you work with the new records, but let's start with the beginning. You've been involved in music in a lot of ways. You have been behind a lot of bands, so you really know and aware of the scene. But uh, when you started up, do you remember, how you got the idea and how was the vision? What was the vision behind Hypocrisy when you started up?
Yeah. So to take it from the beginning, I guess in the early '80s, you started in the garage playing with friends and stuff like that, and whatever was heavy at that time, in anything from first couple of Iron Maidens to Judas Priest and things like that, and Accept, and as tougher it got, the more I was into the tougher things, and then all suddenly Metallica came out with Kill 'Em All, and Slayer with the Show No Mercy, and things like that just started to evolve. So I started to try to write like that. We had a band called Conquest between, I don't know, 84 to 87. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to sing, so it sounded really bad. But we wanted to be in that kind of genre. And then I moved to America in '88, and then all the death metal started blooming around me because I lived in Florida. So we were
Oh,
on,
cool.
on on shows every fucking weekend, and it was this band and that band. You had no clue, but nowadays, shit. I was actually on the first, uh, um, not the first, but I was on concerts before the bands even released their albums. I was actually on the Deicide release party for the first album, and I had no
Wow.
clue what I was getting into, and it was insane. It was one of the best things ever. So all these things were going like from '88 to '91, and then I said I need to go home because my friend has a studio. I have so much ideas in my head, I can't believe it. So I just started working for my friends. I recorded demo bands, local demo bands, and I could use, instead of getting paid, I could use his studio. It was a shit studio, but it worked for the purpose, and that's how I started doing Hypocrisy demos by myself. I ran behind the drums, playing for 4 minutes, and then putting on guitars and stuff. So you always had to remember where you were in the song while you were playing the drums. And my influence was, Deicide, first Morbid Angel, and first Entomb. That's how I wanted Hypocrisy to sound like. But when I started writing, it became something else, as you hear on the first two albums. And after that, I had to start singing for some reason. That's a different story. And there was a keyboard in the studio, so I started plinking on that thing, and all suddenly, I did the intro for Apocalypse. That's on Fourth Dimension, and also the intro on Fourth Dimension. It was kind of cheesy, but that's how it started to. You started to go on an adventure with tones and things like that. That's where I guess things changed with Hypocrisy into the style that we have today.
And it's cool because, going to America where, metal really explodes at that time, it was
Yeah,
going through mainstream like in a fast way. Metallica was ready to sell out and everything. But it's cool that you bring something from that, but you didn't like try to reproduce what you saw in America. And the combination, it's I think that's what is unique about Hypocrisy. It's totally different from everything, and it's different from the Sweden scene, metal scene at that time.
Yeah, yeah. We were never into any scenes. I live very far away from Stockholm. I live even further away from Gothenburg, so I was never in their scene when they were starting in the '90s. And by the way, I was in America at that time anyhow, so I couldn't. So I just had my own ideas, my own vision. I live in a small, small, small town that's far away from everything. So use your imagination, and that's how it became Hypocrisy.
That's cool because when we look at it now, it had such an impact in the scene, and that's what incredible about music. When you start it up, you just do it because you want to do it, and like you said, you're kind of isolated and you just want to create and do something different. But that band has such an influence over a lot of band because, like I said, you were kind of unique in your style, and you didn't follow a line. A lot of bands choose to follow just a line that was drawn, but I think that you just go your own way, and that's why every band wanted to work with you at the studio because they'll blow up by, oh man, that guy's is different, and that's what we need right now.
Yeah, but that was 25, 30 years ago. Today you have all the laptop productions, as I call them. They all sound the same. Everybody's using the same plugin and the same kick sound or snare sound or whatever. But it's a great tool, don't get me wrong. Computer helps a lot, but you have to use it in the right way. And of course, everybody's entitled to do it their own way. But the way I use my computer is just more or less like a recording device. I use a lot of outboard gears and stuff, and to try to make it a little bit warmer and more human.
You start working. Did you build your studio in the '90s, or it was way later?
Yeah, actually, this studio I was recording the two first album, I actually bought from the guy because he was closing it down. But at the meantime, as I was buying it, we went to Stockholm to record the Fourth Dimension, our third album, with some stranger people, because we wanted to go to a big fancy studio. So we said, like, okay, let's spend the money because then we could at least say when we get old, oh, we went to this flashy studio. But that turned out to be a really disaster because Fourth Dimension doesn't really sound right if you put it that way. So when we were done with that and we're all bummed out, my studio was ready to start being able to record. So it took me a while in '94 to dare to bring in bands and stuff, to make a living out of it, to feel that you knew what you were doing. I never knew what I was doing. You get different sound for different bands all the time, and it was a lot because of me and a lot because of the bands as well, because there was no YouTube. You could go out and check how to put a microphone on the snare or a cabin, guitar cabinet or whatever. There was nobody I could spy on. There was no studios around here. If I would have lived in Stockholm or Gothenburg, you can always hang with these people who are professionals and you can see how they do things. There was nothing. I just had to learn by doing.
And that's the best way to learn, and I think that's why you're so skilled right now, because you start from scratch.
Yeah, but I needed those skills in '92, '93. But, yeah, it took a long time to do it by yourself and figure it out yourself.
So Abducted was the first record you released, you record in the studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And I think I recorded that album 3 times until I was happy. First time recorded, sound wasn't as good as I wanted, and plus there was a few songs that didn't really were that great. So we threw that away, wrote some new songs, recorded everything again, doing the same thing. Sound is not good enough. Another few songs were not holding up, so we took that away, and then the third and final time, I think we nailed it.
It's true. I love the records, but I mean, I love the first three records too. Yeah, it didn't sound maybe like the vision you have in your head, and it's
Yeah.
all the same. There's always a path to frustration to get the sound that you want, but still it's raw, and I think it's really powerful.
Yeah. A funny thing with the second album, when we were done recording, and I was gonna go down and mix. And then I come into the studio. There was no effects left. There was no reverb. There was no echo. There was no compressions or anything. And I was like, "Holy shit!" And we just said, "Okay, it's gonna be punk rock." So what you hear on the second album, there is not one compressor. I don't think there's any reverb on it. There's no echo. There's nothing. Those were tough days, you know.
The only the only not punk rock but metal records that was done like punk rock.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you can hear sometimes on Mus's vocals. Sometimes when he screams, it gets so fucking loud. It's like in your face. And yeah, what can you do? No compressions, no effects, no nothing. Fuck it. Let's just do it.
And at that time, in the 90s, punk rock in Sweden really exploded when you saw like band Melancholine was getting everybody everywhere in the world. So, and the metal scene was kind of started up to get some recognitions. Did the punk scene influence you? Like, okay, we can get out of here and just conquer the world.
Well, punk scene for me is not these kind of bands you're talking about right now. Punk scene is for me is Sex Pistols, Exploited, GBH, shit like that. And
This
then
job.
this happy punk shit, it was never for me. That came in the 90s.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. But did you just saw like those bands getting big and like what the fuck? We're there too.
Yeah, but it's more accessible, it's more uh cleaned up, more nicer, or whatever you want to call it, I would say, so it's more accessible for a larger kind of crowd.
It's
We were
true.
death metal, we were underground, we're supposed to be dangerous,
Yeah, but that's another thing, extreme metal. A lot of bands didn't thought that there would be so much attentions, but man, the crowd's getting bigger, bigger each years, and I'm sure that with the pandemic, there's gonna be way more people. The curious one's gonna go to see shows, and the fans gonna be there. The old timers gonna be there. A lot of bands gonna be surprised the amount of people. It's beautiful to see that the movement is just getting stronger.
Yeah, I do not complain, trust me. So I mean, yeah, it's interesting how things change, instead of playing for 150 people, now you play for a lot more people, put it that way, nowadays. So I'm just happy that it goes the right way.
Yeah. And, I think, like I said, there's always new people. And with the pandemic, people have more time to listen to music. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of people discover you. A lot of people that was aware but didn't listen to the whole discography. But now that they got time, they try it. And I'm pretty sure you're going to see a lot of new faces.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, over the years, these 30 years we've been playing, the crowd changed, they don't change. That's the funny thing. The crowd stays young, over the 30 years. Of course, you see people that you've seen for 20 years or 25 years in the crowd as well, but you always see young people in there. So that is really great.
So the new album's gonna be released in November. Is it more tough for you guys to do a records now, or is it more easy with the experience, or it's the balance of both?
It's fucking hell to write music, man. No, seriously, nothing comes easy. Trust me. If it comes easy, it's not good. In my way of working, if I come up with something uh, that I really damn myself for to getting into, at the end you get really good results, I would say. What, it never gets easier, that's for sure. I never know what the fuck I should write. I feel that I've done everything, but all suddenly when you start writing, it becomes a little bit different, and that helps you. It's like you get the carrot to keep on going, because I really don't want to repeat myself, but but still with Hypocrisy, I want to stay within the boundaries of what Hypocrisy is. I just want to, with this album, I just wanted to write good fucking songs and a fat production.
And it really worked from what I heard. I didn't heard the whole records, but what I heard, it nailed it. It's kind of a masterpiece after all those years. I'm always surprised to see band that reach their top, doing it again and do better than what they did. And congratulations for that. And I'm not surprised it was a really hard process, but the result is just it's gonna blow people's mind.
I hope you're right. Thank you. Let's see. Time will tell what
And you
people
did a
think of it.
cover of Exploited. You were talking about the punk scene, like the
Yeah.
real thrash and street punk, and you did a cover of Exploited. I think it's for The Lie. The Lie.
Yeah, exactly. On Beat the Bastard album.
I love that records.
Oh yeah, I mean they got modern on that record, but the songs are so fucking good, and his voice is insane. It's just insane. He sounds so fucking angry. He's the coolest guy though. Wati, he's really nice. I met him. We were talking about doing the new album together, but he had a heart attack, and then a few years back, and then I haven't really heard anything. They still didn't come up with a new album yet, though. So I still hope they will call me one day.
Yeah, it's almost 20 years since Fuck the System.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what is amazing. I did an interview with him. I didn't understood everything he was saying, but
Yeah, he's got a white dialect, man. Really white.
but it's
It's
cool
cool,
to
man.
see those. I love to see those two scenes collide. There was a huge hole between the metal and the punk rock scene, and it's weird because like the band you named, GBA's Discharge, Subhumans, they really influenced Black Flag too. If you go to America and Bad Brains, and it was really furious punk rock, and it really inspired thrash metal. So I think they're always, it's two different scenes, but the connection is really strong.
Yeah, exactly. It's, you know, I think the metal scene comes from punk, and punk comes from blues in a
Yeah,
weird
yeah,
way.
yeah. It's true. It's so true. It's funny how music just collide like Lego. Is just everything collide together at some point.
Yeah.
You work with Till from Rammstein. I'm curious how you met him and how you guys decide to work with the project Lindemann.
We known each other for a long time, like 20 years or so. No, even longer. 99, I think I met him first time. And we kind of clicked, and he was busy. I was busy all the time. We always said, hey, let's do something, but nothing ever happened. And then 2013, he said, hey, I'm going to have 2 years off. Let's write something. So that's how it started. And now it's done. Time to move on.
I love it because as an artist, you always go forward, and it's weird because the fans always live in the past. It's tough to connect those two worlds.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we both come from different backgrounds. We kind of listen to different kind of music, but still we have a lot of things in common. And then we create these two albums. I don't know. I just have to look at him and I get inspired to write something. That was amazing. Let's do a tango song. Okay, yeah, let's fucking try it. And then you have that, and let's do this, let's do that. There was no limit of what we could do, but now it's over and it's done. So that's it. It's history.
Yeah, because when you're working in the studio, it's the thing. You get so involved with a band, and then when it's done, you move to the next band. You don't stuck in the past, like reliving what you did.
Yeah, no, I'm just telling you, like, Lindemann is over. It doesn't exist anymore. So
I want to congratulate you. First of all, it's not it's crazy that you've been always pushing yourself and still there. You never stop, and that's the thing. A lot of band quit for a couple of years, they come back, but Hypocrisy, you never did that. You were always there. keeping the scene alive. And I want to congratulate you because Worship is really a masterpiece. I'm telling you that records, it's kind of everything but way better. And man, people gonna love it.
I hope you're right. Like I said, I only write what I would like to hear. So I hope we have something in common with the fans then.
We hope to see you around Quebec and Canada. When was the last time you came to Canada, if you did?
2019, actually.
Wow, it's been
In April, I think, or was it in May? So it wasn't too far, but we have a new one coming up. So we'll announce a North American tour pretty soon.
cool. We really hope that everything's gonna be back to normal at that point. And man,
Yeah, I hope so
congrats
too.
and have fun with the tour. I mean, getting back to it, I'm sure it's really exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Why sit at home and rot when you can go out and meet people and play fucking metal?
How many times you said to yourself, "Oh, I need to slow down," and when the pandemic happened, you're like, "Fuck, I will never slow down again."
Yeah. No, I actually took a half a year off from everything. I was just laying on the couch getting fat and watching TV. And then after that, I started to take care of things that was loose ends and try to tie the bag together. Like, for example, the Hypocrisy album now. So it was good to have this time off for me. I know it wasn't for everybody, but for me, I really needed it.
Yeah, it was the same for me, and when you take a step ahead, you realize a lot of things,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you
Don't know
don't
what you
take
got until it's gone.
it's true. Amen. Peter, you're really generous of your time, man.
No
First of all,
problem.
it's a huge honor. I've been following you guys since the beginning. I'm 40 years old, and I grew up listening to metal in high school, and I was playing you guys actually in high school radio, and
Ah,
people
cool.
were freaking out.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
I remember teacher were complaining that the music was too furious, and at some point I asked which band, and they point you guys, and I'm like, yeah, that's the
Oops.
point. That's it.
All right. Ah, that's cool, man.
So being 20 years later and doing that, it's an honor, and we're gonna still play you guys and have fun with the tour, have fun with the records. And what's the best way to directly encourage you guys? Will there be merch, shirt, vinyl if people wanna buy physical stuff? Because I'm a collector, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we have left. I mean, when we released the first Chemical Whore, we had boxes, special boxes with the cassette CDs and vinyl and some necklace and stuff like that. That, of course, sold out in half a day. And then we had a bunch of vinyls that sold out. So I think maybe there is some new collection they have out. Just check it. It's on hypocricyband.com. You can find everything there. We got T-shirts and shit like that. So, and don't forget, today we released a new song, That World. So
Hell yeah. Peter, you're amazing. Thank you so much.
thank
I'm
you.
gonna be there when you come to Quebec or Montreal or whatever.
Yeah.
And till then, beers on me, man, or whatever you want to drink.
All right. Sounds good, man. Have a good one, man.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much, and hope to see you here. See you when we get to Quebec.
Yes, hell yeah. Thank you, Peter. We're gonna do a
Thank.
huge special on our radio show.
Oh, great. Thank you very much, man. And we can just hook up before and do some pre stuff.
Cool. Let's keep in touch, and I'm gonna
Yep.
send the details when I hear the interview. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, and keep fucking metal rocking.
Thank you, and you too. Make people hear it. Thank you.
Bye bye, Peter.
Bye bye, Eric.